Hey, welcome back to Ben's Boats. My name is Ben. Once again, we're out here working on the 1982 Cobalt CS7. Now, last time you saw this boat, it was running down the lake. We did the lake test, works awesome. Since then, I've done a little bit of work. Notably, the interior. I got the seats, all of them are in. I've got everything buttoned up as it should be. It's not 100% perfect, it still needs a little bit of cleaning, but my girlfriend helped me out with that, so it looks good as of now. I also installed an amplifier for the stereo system. It's up underneath the dash there. It sounds a lot better than before. I had this old one here. I had this old Kenwood 4-channel, which it worked, but it really wasn't great. Now I've got a JL Audio 6-channel in there, so I can actually drive these 10-inch subs down here. So it hits pretty hard. It's okay. I'm not a professional by any standards, but I think it works pretty well. We're not here for the sound system though. We're here today because I need to winterize this baby. I know, straight from lake test to winterize doesn't really make sense, but I gotta do it. I'm going out of town here in about a week. It's supposed to get cold. I don't want to risk busting this brand new engine that we just did all this work to. With that in mind, we gotta winterize this thing. Now typically, that's a pretty easy procedure. You get it out of the shop, run it up to temperature, make sure the thermostat opens and it pumps good water, and then you drain the block, pour antifreeze through it, call it done. However, we're gonna do all that, but with a little bit of a twist. Let me explain. She's in the shop right now, and I can't get her out of the shop for a couple reasons. One, my truck's in the shop. I know, start the debate, Ford versus Chevy, blah, blah, blah. It's not because of that. I hit a deer. Take a look. Yeah, not super fun. Anyway, the truck's getting repaired, so I can't really move this thing very well. I could use the tractor, but take a look out here. Old Blue is in the way, and this boat is way too heavy for me to use that little Kubota to move around. So we are stuck winterizing the Cobalt in the shop. Luckily, my shop has this door in the back that we open up, and I have access to the outside world. My plan is to pull the boat backwards towards this door here so we can run the boat on a hose. We can use that piece of tin there as a chute for the water to angle it out here. But this is all experimentation. We're gonna see if this works. All right, well, I've got some setup to do to see if this even works. Let's go. Okay, so now we're going to turn our attention to this piece of sheet metal that I've got here. Now, if I figured correctly, we can squeeze it up underneath the outdrive and affix it somehow to the trailer so that when I run this thing with the water and the antifreeze, it's all just going to drain out the back side of the shop here. Now, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try either way. I've got to get it done. I want to do it right, so here we go. Alright, so this monstrosity is what I've come up with. The chute goes all the way out. It is comfortably underneath the transom assembly and drive. I've trimmed it down. It may or may not work. I have a feeling that it will, but there's a chance that it won't. But we're going to be here either way to find out. I have a brick, a fender, and some rope holding this thing in place. It's a little sketchy, but what's life if it's not a little bit sketchy? So this is what we've come up with. Got our muffs in place, water's connected, runs all the way out the window, continues here, and over to the house. we got water. And it's draining out. It's currently purging air out of the hose and spitting a little bit of water here and there. So we're gonna hope like heck this works. Getting ready for startup here soon. Alright, everything's connected. We should have fuel. I know we've got water. Let's see how a very cold start goes. Thermometer says it's 51.8 degrees this morning, so let's see what we can do. She's running. That worked great. Now we gotta let it warm up the temperature, cut it off, winterize it. We are up to temperature, everything looks good here. Ready to shut it down, drain it, and get antifreeze to this whole system. Okay, so there are a couple spots to drain on this engine. Let me show you. There are two on each side. There's a manifold drain there and a block drain way down there. It's kind of hard to see, but it's right there. And same thing on this side. Got another manifold drain there. That block drain's a little easier to see, right there above those power steering lines. Lastly, what I like to do is drain the J-hose. That's this one that goes from the thermostat housing down to the water circulator pump on the front of the engine. I like to get all the water out of this system before we start putting pink in it. Let's do it. Block drain number 1. Manifold drain 1. Block drain 2. And manifold drain 2. Alright, now it's time to get this J-hose off here. Let's pop it off and get going. Oh yeah. See all that water that came out? That's exactly what we wanted to get out of this thing. Okay, now that all the water's out of the block and we've turned it off from the outdrive, I'm going to fire this thing up a couple times and rev it to clear all the water out of the system. See that spray? That's good. We want that out of there. Now the belts are all wet and they're going to squeak. Awesome. Okay, we're ready to reinstall all the plugs and put antifreeze in it. Look what I just found in the power steering cooler. This must have got sucked up by the drive at some point. Look at that. Wow. Maybe I need to install a C strainer. Typically you don't need them on IOs, but check that out. That's new. I've never seen that before. Okay, so the reason I have the power steering cooler part is because this hose right here, this one is what I'm going to use to pour the antifreeze into the system. Water comes up from the outdrive into the power steering cooler and then through this hose to the impeller pump up to here, then it circulates through the engine. So this is the second place the water goes once it comes through the power steering cooler. I want to add my antifreeze here to winterize my system. All right, we got all our antifreeze opened up, ready to pour in here. I got this funnel installed. Help me out. What we got to do now is start this thing and run it till I see pink coming out the back. I got 4 gallons, should be more than enough to fill this entire block and manifolds with antifreeze. Let's crank this up and do it. Alright, I don't know if you can tell, but I can tell from up here, that is pink coming out the backside. So I know we are full of antifreeze everywhere. We're good to put some hoses on, button it up. She is ready for the wintertime. Okay, everything's buttoned up, but we've got an issue. These manifold drains, see that? It's dripping here and on the other side too. Let's see if... Yep, that one's leaking too. They're both leaking. I don't really like it. What I'm gonna do is pull them out. Got some Teflon tape here. Apply some of this to threads and put it back together, and hopefully that stops the leak. All right, it's a race against the clock. Alright, well, I captured most of that antifreeze. It's good, not great, but, you know, it'll work. That seemed to work. I don't see any leaks from either of the manifold drains now. Block drains are all sealed up. We're all good. She's ready for the cold season. Alright, well, with that out of the way and a little bit of creativity, she is winterized. I got some cleaning up and packing up to do, but you already saw me do that once. I'm gonna leave you guys off here. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, maybe consider liking the video, subscribing, sticking around. There's more boat building content to come. Thanks for watching.